Good evening, everyone. I am John Mason, better known as Dr. M, the Purpose Disruptor, and you have found your way to the last installment of the Shift into Your Purpose, the 21-day challenge. Tonight is the grand finale. The grand finale. We are about to be done for this for a minute. And for those of y'all who have rocked with me for the majority of these 21 days, bless your hearts and thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This has been one of those journeys that I've learned so much and have done so much. Because I can tell you, without some critical guidance from some very key people that I'll get to at the end of this would not have been possible. It would not have been fun. It would have not been nothing. It just would have been. So before we get too far afoot, let me just go ahead and do my normal recap at the beginning. This is all about shift. And shift is an acronym which basically stands for S, sitting with yourself and Jesus, making sure that you take time for you, to look at you, to be transparent with you, to do all of the things that you need to accomplish. Hey, Cuzzo, welcome, welcome. The H stands for hearing the Father's voice. There are so many voices in our ears these days, so many things that are out there, so many things that want attention, that it's time to make sure that we have the blockers on so that we can hear his voice. The I stands for investing in your purpose. It was said very early. If you don't know who you are and you don't know where you're going and you don't know who those are that have been sent and aligned to your purpose, then it's going to be impossible for you to invest in that because you have no idea where you're going. So once you've taken care of those three things, then literally you can move resources, time, money, to catalyze, to absolutely move, to gain traction to your purpose. The F stands for forgiving offense. And we talked early on about how unforgiveness derails so many people because it's that unforgiveness that opens the doors for you to be turned over to the tormentors. And in being turned over to the tormentors, you are given, the enemy is given the ability to basically wreak havoc on your life. And that's not something that you want. And the last T is to take accountability. And that is to raise your hand and say, I did it. I am guilty. I am the one who ate your cookie, drank your milk. I did it. Not putting that off on somebody else, not making it happen with somebody else, but you taking responsibility for what you had to do. A couple of other things we also need to go ahead and talk about. There is a journal that goes along with these 21 days. And the good thing about the journal is it's great with the 21 days, it's great without the 21 days. This journal is one of those things that I promise you. Ariel, thank you so much for rocking with us as usual. I appreciate you. Um, there are journal prompts, there are affirmations, there's space for you to use that S where you're sitting with yourself so that you can go ahead and write in this particular journal. And fresh off the print, there is also the Shift affirmation deck. I'm very, very happy and proud with these. There are cards that have a morning and evening affirmation on them. So when you're getting up in the morning and when you're going to sleep at night, you have thoughts that you can either journal to, you can pray with, you can do all sorts of things. But the good part about it is these are tools for you to use. These are tools for you to use. And I cannot tell you how happy I am that they are tools that you can use.
Power off.
The greatest gift that you can give somebody is things that will begin to supercharge their prayer life, supercharge their Bible study habit, supercharge their time alone with God, supercharge their awareness that they are not where they're supposed to be. And all of these are great tools that you can use. Shameless plug, Father's Day is coming up, and these would be a great thing for you to do to get them. So the question becomes, okay, what do we do? If you want to join the shift movement or you want to purchase the journal or the affirmation deck, all you have to do is go to purposerefinedbyfire.com, purposerefinedbyfire.com, and go on down and you will see beautiful links for all of the products that we have gone over today. And they are yours to do with as you will. As most of you all know, tonight is the grand finale of our 21 days. We have literally just gotten it done. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has. It doesn't seem like we have been through so much, but we have. And the three gentlemen that have just blessed my soul as we went through this are going to be on tonight. We've got one technical difficulty and one uh, delay. So they're going to come on as they can. And I'm going to be watching my entry points to make sure that as they basically join, I'm going to just bring them up to the screen. But Darius J is from the men's department, 1/3 of the men's department. He basically is a podcaster. He is an influencer. And more than anything else, he is a brother who just loves to just keep it real, keep it the way it is. Pastor Prophet J of Reviving Generations just blew our natural mind as it related to tasking the oil that was meant for the job and the oil giving purpose, not only a landing spot, but protection. And if you didn't see it, you need to go back and see it. Pastor G was with us, and he began, Lord, I couldn't keep up with the comments when he was out here because that was just something that was just too much for me. So all of these folks are going to be on tonight. Um, As always, if you'd be so kind as to like, subscribe, share, and click that little bell so that you can get everything that you need. Um, when I tell you this is going to be interesting because I would not have expected it going to be any other way than there is going to be delays and trouble because of who the lineup entails. I would not expect it any other way. So we're gonna start off with the bishop, as I call him, Pastor J of Reviving Generations. Um, are you gonna go picture on or picture off today, Pastor? No,
Greetings and salutations.
no.
What's going on?
It's all good. It's all good.
Good. How's your week? It's only Tuesday. But
I'm
how's your?
about to say, I ain't had no week.
It's been a week. It's only Tuesday.
It really has been. When I tell you that yesterday I was supposed to get on Mason Mondays, and I said I can't. I got to save my little energy for tonight.
You're gonna have to get you a vitamin or something so you can have
Look,
energy.
I'm taking B complex. I'm taking multivitamins. I need to get some more. Thank you for reminding me. Um, it's been interesting. Say the very least, it's been interesting. So I'm gonna start off with the first question, just so that everybody would stay sort of in lockstep tonight. I gave everybody some prompts so that we would stay sort of on a schedule. It was just gonna be me and the bishop. And you know I'm a freelance after about the second question. So given the idea of purpose and its impact, what do you see as essential in finding your purpose?
I probably should have read your questions before.
Nah. Hey, Lady
um,
Artina, thank you. Welcome, welcome.
yeah, man. One of there are a few things, right? But what I will start with is honesty. Um, that is one of the key essentials to finding your purpose. And the reason I say honesty is because I feel like this. I feel like we are living in a world and a space where we have come up with the grand idea that it's okay to imitate someone else's purpose and live in a space of falsity, right? So until we come into the reality that we have to be authentic and honest, we'll never, people will never walk into that space where they find their purpose.
Yeah, I'm writing down stuff so that when we get to the point of writing out that good spiral bound study notes, I'll be good to go. Brother Darius, I ain't got a little box. Wah, 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 wah.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
I know that you just got off and you trying to multitask, but thank you so much for dropping in. Your presence is so appreciated.
I appreciate y'all having.
So the first question is, what do you see as essential in finding your purpose?
Oh, what did I see is essential? Oh, huh. I want to go cliche a little bit, but then I'm like,
Go on, cliche.
um,
You can.
uh, I go with this. You know what I'm saying? Purpose, purpose, finding your purpose is essential. I'll say faith in some faith in the thing that is unseen. You know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like a lot of times we trying to find our purpose. We might not can't see exactly how and what it is. We just know we have a feeling towards. You know what I'm saying? We know we are called to something, and it may be something that we are already doing and have to do it in a greater capacity, or you know what I'm saying, or just taking that step to going on a journey to end up finding that purpose, which is these are all things that are not tangible. They're not seen. They're not always able to be touched in that moment. You know what I'm saying? You kind of have to put the sweat equity in order to get to that place. So I say faith, man.
Okay. Okay. And Kanisha has greeted you by saying he gonna say know what I'm saying for 11 times.
Hey, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is. That's what you get when I'm tired.
I'll let y'all fight that out a little bit later. So the second question sort of leads into that, and that is who affirms or confirms a person's purpose? If it is someone other than the person, what happens if they are wrong or misguided?
Tag, there's J. You it.
Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Okay. You said what if the person is wrong or misguided? Okay.
Two-part question. Who affirms or confirms a person's purpose? And if it is someone other than the person, what happens if they are wrong or misguided?
That's where you gotta go back to God, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what prayer is for. You know what I'm saying? To get yourself in alignment, because it's like somebody may speak something towards you or speak something that is a part of your purpose out, and it may not be that time when it sees. You have to kind of be aware in those moments. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, hey, is that time for me to make the move or not? And we have to always be ready to go back and pray to God, because God really is the only one that can reveal what you need to hear or see, or put people in place in order to get you in alignment with the thing, with the path that He wants to set you on. I feel like that's I feel like that's where you're gonna get that affirmation, you know what I'm saying, from is God. And for like, cause people can be misguided. People do people. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't know if I have an answer for the second part though.
Don't worry
Cause
about it. Bishop gonna come clean it up.
I don't wanna ruffle no feathers right now.
As I said, Bishop gonna clean it up. I know that look. I
I
can't.
don't I don't have a look. I am tired. That's that look. But to piggyback on what Darius said, that purpose is always confirmed by God, right? Um, the Lord always confirms purpose. And that's the reason that we're here. We're just having a conversation, I think, this past weekend that, like, if anyone steps in the space of impeding the Lord's purpose, like, He has every right to remove them from this space, right? Um, but your purpose is confirmed by God, and it is affirmed and echoed like through your tribe, your community, your people, that you are part of, and that's one of the things I feel like um, we have pulled away from, kind of, sort of, as it relates to affirming people with their purpose. Two reasons. Number one is that oversight doesn't know God, as number one.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
I'll give you three. Number two, um,
Whew.
jealousy. When people are attempting to affirm something that they're jealous of, they will never step into the place to affirm it.
oh
Yikes.
man, boy,
Um,
God. I see.
and
All right, man. You got it. You were going in the way I was thinking about going. Okay, that's
and it's one of those things where we see it, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Um, some people do it intentionally, right? And then some people do it unintentionally, like steering people the wrong way because, again, they are not plugged into the source. Just like with Samson, he wanted to marry. He said, "Let me get that one right there." Right. And his parents says, "No, like, can you find somebody in your own tribe?" And the scripture said that they did not perceive, right, what the Lord was doing. And in that space, we have people attempting to affirm when they're not able to perceive. And that's the bigger issue, that carries on to a larger conversation, of who you hit your wagon to, right? And that's the long and short of it, for the sake of time.
Well, for the sake of time, I'm gonna go ahead and nail this one because I'm hey, Elder Jefferson, welcome, welcome. Affirming without perceiving, and what did you say before? Confirmed by God, but affirmed by your tribe. You're not going to be able to just slide by that without giving us a snippet of what's the difference between confirming, and affirming.
You got your doctoral degree, you know.
This is for the people. This is for the people.
I'm still in school.
This is for the people. Newly minted master. Don't start with me.
Tell him,
Oh
Darius,
wow.
he the one, he got it.
Hey,
Your
yeah,
your
I'm saying you
your
got the period. You know what I'm saying in front of your name. Doctor.
your degree is so shiny, it's still blinding folk. Oh no, not tonight.
The long and short of it, right? When the Lord confirms it, it literally speaks to the establishment thereof, right? So, shallow example, we will give you the case of Elijah and Elisha, right? The Lord confirms, he establishes Elisha as Elijah's successor, right?
Mhm.
Um, then what happens with the affirmation? It comes later when he is raptured up. And people only recognize what you do. So they were able to identify him with, and this is a conversation that I really don't want to get in. They were able to identify him based on the mantle, right? The Lord confirms it, establishes it, and the community, the tribe, the people that you are connected to and called to, they are there to affirm it, which means they're there to support it, they're there to validate it, they're there to acknowledge it, they're there to value what the Lord has established. The kicker is that if you are not valued among the people that you say that's your tribe, then they may not be able to perceive what the Lord has already established in the earth.
Mm.
Mm, mm.
Let,
The
let, let me get to this next question because we could stay there right all night long, and I know that's not fair. So, how did y'all find your purpose?
Mm. Okay. How did I find my purpose? I found my purpose at the Riverwalk.
at the flame.
Yeah. Oh man. You
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
I knew
Oh
this was
no,
a
man.
bad idea.
Yeah. We had to run out the rails just a little bit. You know what I mean? But but no, man. I remember about I say about 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to one of my friends, one of my close friends, like a brother to me. You know what I'm saying? He was a brother to me. And we always talk about we grew up fatherless. You know what I'm saying? And our group pretty much helped raise each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't the oldest, but I was kind of the leader for some reason. I ain't got that yet. But you know what I'm saying? We were just talking, man. We always talk. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to know. I knew my purpose was to help young men. You know what I mean? Like I was like I never had somebody give me the words of wisdom. I had people come along, but it was never consistent. You know what I'm saying? It was always breaks in the giving of wisdom. It's like it show up every once in a while. But to have people that I can pour into consistently, you know what I'm saying, and teach them the things that I didn't know how to do. Teach them about taxes and teach them about resumes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know how to put together resumes. It's just like it's so many things that fall through the cracks that fell through the cracks for me, and I had to find out either through most of the time through trial and error. It was very trial and error. You know what I'm saying? I always was trying. I succeeded, you know what I'm saying? But I tried first and failed a lot first, but I ended up succeeding. And I just wanted to be that conduit into adulthood, you know what I'm saying? Especially like young men, because I be trying to tell them, like, man, you're 18, you're not grown yet. And I just knew that kind of like what God put inside of me for me to be like, man, let me just help you fight against this world. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna tell you what you supposed to be, how you supposed to be, even without knowing who you are or where you came from. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how a lot of the things that I've been doing my whole life, even with the podcast and stuff like that, that's how that stuff came into play. It's just like nobody is giving these young men good news or even something to fight for. They're not even teaching them how to fight for their own lives. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's how my purpose came about.
So can I ask you how you found it?
Oh, how I found it. Oh, I think I got that. I think I found that my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like it was. I don't feel like it was. As long as I've been alive, I don't ever feel like that was not my purpose. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because I always been trying to help people younger than me, my age, and even older than me. Anybody that I can hold a conversation with, I feel like God gave me the ability to gain wisdom or gain a lot of knowledge and turn it into wisdom by ordering my steps. You know what I'm saying? That putting me in pathways that allow me to gain insight in order to give insight. I don't have no kind of special formula for it, you know what I'm saying, at all. It's just, I feel like it was always in me from a young age. I
Mm.
always been the leader.
I second that.
Really?
Yes.
Really? That's what you're gonna do? That's fine. Got a question from the floor. Actually, two. Can other people know your purpose before you do? And if so, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Hmm. Mm. I mean, I don't know if people will know your purpose before you do. They might know your purpose before you acknowledge your purpose. Because I know a lot of times, most times we have our purpose, we just don't acknowledge it. Because most times we end up spending more time running away from our purposes instead of actually trying to embrace them. That's been my walk and a lot of other people walk. I know it's just like we kind of get it, and then we run away from it, especially when it's just like, ah man, God, pick something else, you know. So now my auntie I think my auntie is the only person that I probably could say that probably knew my purpose before I did, but that's a long story.
Hey,
I, I'll
Pastor Cheryl, welcome.
I will second the idea that there can be and there is a possibility that someone may know your purpose prior to you knowing. Um, when you, it's going to depend on who you hit your wagon to.
Right.
Um, because there are people that may not know. Like when we look throughout scripture, you'll find that purposes were known prior to the person coming into the space of knowing that themselves, right? And people, I'll use my favorite, David. He was a shepherd before he became a captain, and he was a captain before he became a king, right? So before Samuel goes down to anoint him as the king, he was already operating in a posture that is his purpose, but he did not know that he would be fulfilling the seat of a king until Samuel showed. Right. So it speaks to the idea of having someone in your life that has the ability to see beyond their personal trauma, flaws, issues, other foolishness that they got going on, and identify what's inside of you, right? I remember coming up in ministry, my pastor would always like tell me, like, ask me, who did the Lord say that you were, right? She would never affirm until the Lord confirmed, right? And I feel like we get out of space and out of pocket when we try to create sons and daughters of something that the Lord never called them to be, and say
Mm.
this is what the Lord calls you, when the Lord says that's not what I call them, right? And we push into spaces. The Lord be so confused, and we
Yeah.
put people in spaces to live under the pressure to perform as to what we want them to be, which could be absolutely innocent in nature, however, is detrimental to their future. So it's always important that you never. I will never sit in a space where I tell people that this is who you are. You will have
Mm.
me first to say, I feel that the Lord is calling me to this. And then I will either affirm or I say,
Or
no, big dog,
redirect.
no, big dog, go back to the altar.
Goes back to the
Mhm.
altar, but I think
Redirect.
that's a level of intelligence, man. I don't think a level of divine intelligence that I don't think a lot of people lean into enough. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's,
Being able to allow the person to do the work with God in order to get to that place, and then I can affirm. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Or I could be like, hey, nah, you need to, like you said, go back to the altar. You like want to try again.
Yep.
Put both knees down when you pray this time.
You
Listen,
know, it's so interesting because Apostle Ardina is on this line, and she did a training for the City of Life Church a while ago. And in her teaching, she talked about we have forsaken some of the older methods, such as tarrying, such as prayer services, not for any other reason but to get a breakthrough, such as turning down your plate. And that man over there will
no
turn
one
down his plate in a heartbeat.
no one wants to pray like that.
Man.
Herein lies the issue. No one wants to pray unless the camera is on.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And we are living in a
Come on,
space
cuz.
where people just want the camera, the likes, the shares, in order for
Want to
somebody to say,
be
oh,
seen.
you prayed real good, right? But what happens when the camera and the lights are off?
Woo.
Like,
Wow.
because if the true people are watching you that has the spirit of discernment, they know that through your prayers they can see what you're doing behind the camera when the camera's not on. So like
Mm.
living in a space where it's like we want claps, we want applause, and we want yay, and we want to be louder than somebody else, we want to intimidate somebody else, and we want to fight on social media. Like, it's so dumb to me that people will come into a space that should be sacred to get pats and likes and clicks and shares. But that's the society that we're living in. So this is why we have a whole nation of people that are confused and
We in a awarded society. They like awards. They like awards. They don't know how to get the reward. You know what I'm saying?
But you know that whole thing of a trophy society, we got to talk about that.
but that's what we created. We,
That's what.
we
Yeah.
we created it and we allowed it. Like we
Mm-hmm.
in space of like you played, yeah, you get a trophy. No, you lost.
You lost. You lost 56-6. You lost bad. Like I almost took y'all jerseys
Listen,
off.
because when we was growing up, second place was the first place loser.
Right.
Like
That's what I'm saying. You feel me? Like it didn't feel good to get second place. Nobody said, man, but we got second place though.
nobody,
Nobody said that.
you still the first place loser. Like
Yeah.
like and that's the thing. Like, we created that and we pulled it into the body of Christ, where we just want to make sure that people like us.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have people that are leading people that that are that are leading through a fractured lens, and the only thing they want people to do is give them money because they don't want to go to work. Like, I don't get it.
Ooh.
So
Uh,
could it be said, gentlemen,
That's
that
the topic. Can we go back? I'm sorry.
go. Yeah, yeah.
we're gonna go back and it's all right because you had to go there. Could it be said that titles are the participation trophy of the church?
But it shouldn't be the participation trophy of the church. We have taken the idea and the concept of titles and dumbed and numbed them down to the space where you get a title, you get a title, you cleaning, you the pastor of the cleaning committee, right? Like we have come into this space where we've taken titles, right? And again, I tell reviving generations all the time, stop saying that I don't need no title, I'm gonna do the work. You can't. When you come into the space, when you are operating in a sacred seat that the Lord has designed for you to sit in, when you tell somebody I don't need that, I'm just doing the work, you literally insult the Lord and telling him he didn't know who he called you, because your seat is an identifying marker as to who you are. So don't come with this false humility saying like I'm just so humble. No, you're moving in a space where you're telling God you don't know what you're doing. And then on
Come
the
on,
other
Pastor Hagwood. That's a good point. Come on.
people in a space where it's like we're gonna get everybody a title. I went to this one church and they had like 30 members and all the 30 members were elders. Who the flop?
Boy, well, I'm about to say, oh, boy. We the elders of the elders.
Oh Lord.
It doesn't make sense. And it's we
Woo.
living in that space, and when this is confronted, now everyone has attitude.
Oh,
Everyone,
hey, that pride and that ego well up. You
and then
know?
everybody want to go on their platform and throw rocks when you could just
Oh,
call
but
me and let's talk about it. Like, what's up, big dog?
yeah, just call me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we
See,
still human at the same time.
I knew that this might happen. So yeah, let me just go ahead and get this back on track. Let me insert another question. Why do we silence those who have not been tested by the criteria established by the older generations?
You're gonna have to tell me what that means. I didn't read that. I didn't read your question. Say
We
that
tell
again.
young folk to shut up. You ain't got nothing because we have not hazed them enough.
Huh.
They haven't paid the price. They
Yeah.
haven't gone through what we went through.
Yeah. That old rugged cross, huh? Yeah.
But I'm gonna shut up and let Darius J talk. But that is here's the kicker. Um, nope. Um,
Yep,
Darius
that
J,
part.
I'm tired.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. That part. Let it go, Bishop.
Nope.
Let it go.
Hey, man. Slide on in here, man.
Here's the thing: the older generation feel that they don't have a seat. They feel that they don't have a space. They feel that they will be replaced. They feel that they will be removed. They feel that like if I allow this new generation to come in, then what am I going to do? Right. And we see it not just in the church but in corporate America. Like people hold on and hoard their seat as if like this is the be all end all. And this comes from not having your own having an identity in Christ. You have lived in a space, older generation, listen, I say this with love, you have lived in a space where you have created the storyline that this is the be all end all. You see it all the time. I have no control at home, so I come to the church and exert my authority in that space, right? So we have to create a space for the older saints.
Mm-hmm.
We have to create a space so that they feel comfortable. We have to create a space so that they are in a space where that they know that they are still valued,
Mm-hmm.
they're valuable
Yeah, make them great
because they
men.
are. They carry the wisdom in the earth. They carry the history of God in the earth. So when we don't treat them in a space where they are valued and valuable, it's like I done learned all the Greek, the Aramaic, and the Hebrew, and I'm finna start. No, shut up and learn something for a moment, right? Because you run off and you do all of these things and you try to create a space that is so soothing to the new generation, and you forget about them.
Mm.
Mm.
So this is why they telling these folks, shut up and sit down. You ain't been through nothing.
Yeah,
But if
y'all,
we
y'all,
look
y'all
at,
created nothing for them to go through.
But if we look at the idea and the concept of healing our seniors, because no one realizes that the seniors need healing too.
Oh man.
Amen.
Amen.
They're they're
Amen.
off, they're
Amen.
often the forgotten generation. Like we are living in a space where we are woke, right? But everybody forgets about healing our seniors. Everybody forgets about honoring our seniors.
Mm.
Cannot progress to a space when you don't honor the senior. When you look throughout scripture, it was always honor bestowed upon the other.
Yeah.
They may not have said, I honor you, but I come in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's honor.
That's honor.
It's the foundation and the establishment of those who went before me.
Hmm.
And truth be told, younger generation, and I'm gonna come back to the older generation, you would not be here if they did not pray
Mm. I had a praying
Woo!
grandmother.
and throw them away. And also, like to the older generation, like you have to learn how to let go. You have to learn how to pour and let go. Pour your wisdom into these younger generations and push them.
Hmm.
Give them the dexterity to create their own platforms and their own narrative. If I pour into you, I'm good with you going out and creating your own. If I pour into you, I'm okay with you leaving home and going to establish your own. If I pour and push you out, like then this is me leaving legacy in the earth. My pour is my legacy. So after I'm gone and I'm with the Lord, here it is. My legacy is still walking the earth because I poured into what I saw.
Mm.
Mm.
And we
Mm.
have to learn as the older generation. I'm coming up to the older age, right?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
have to learn how to pour into those who are coming behind us.
How can we learn to pour into someone when we don't believe in succession planning?
Mm. Wow.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. I would
Is
But
say.
it?
it is because now you have there are two groups of, and it's in generations across lines, right? Because everyone wants to hoard their own toy. You don't get to play with my toy, it's mine.
I work hard for this toy,
I,
and it's
I
my toy.
labor for this
Yeah.
my baby. You're not gonna this is mine. You got to get your own.
The way I got it.
The
Not
way I got
I
it,
got it. The way
right?
I got it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, well, hold
Right.
up. That's that, but yeah, like I said, that's a big conversation right there. Oh,
That's a
because
whole nother conversation that we got to have, because when you look at the reality of it all throughout scripture, everyone was always handing over mantles,
yep.
and we are trying to get mantles that don't even belong to us when mantles only come through relationship and
Hmm.
proximity. So I can't have Arlena Mason's mantle because there is no relationship and no proximity, right?
Right.
Woo!
So
Right.
those things that rest upon bloodlines, and this is a whole nother teaching, like those things that are carved out in those spaces for those people, we have to learn how to set them up where we do have a succession plan. We don't
Hmm.
we don't even have a succession plan outside the confinements of the church. We don't have a succession plan for our regular life, let
Regular
alone
life. That's what I
Ah!
was just about to get
coming
on.
into the
Ah,
church talking
boy,
about
coming to church.
here's
We
a
ain't got the
succession.
house
Woo!
straight. We ain't got the first ministry straight. We ain't got the family straight.
Woo!
You know
Woo!
what I'm saying? And
Woo!
then you know what I'm saying? Because when you get to the point where you're talking about handing over mantles and stuff, like a lot of times our families have nothing to hand over because we either get good at gathering, also called hoarding, and keeping, and not releasing to other people. Because the thing of it is, one, you forget, you remember in the action of gathering and all that stuff, you didn't even teach people how to pursue the things that you had to pursue.
Yep.
So when it's time to release something to somebody, they don't even have the information or the wisdom to be able to handle what you could possibly. That's the reason why, like so many people's inheritance gets squandered. You know what I'm saying? And it's so it's as a lot of this stuff is just like we are not educated in the things that we need in order to replace, not even saying replace, but to step into the roles that some of the elders held down. There's a reason why it always seems like it skips a generation. Then you have a generation that succeeds, but then all of a sudden that generation succeeds, and when that generation dies out, it's another generation of lost people because nobody taught those lost people how to do the things that help people succeed, either out of pride, arrogance, or any other thing that keep people away from it. And just like you said, even in relational, you have a lot of families that are not even close now. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, it's a lot of work to
Pastor
be done,
Hagwood put down there, you don't get Joshua and Caleb without Moses.
You
right?
can't. You can't.
You can't.
This is not
And
possible.
it's so true right now. There are 5 generations in the workplace at the same time. Each one of them have different things that they value. Each one of them have communication patterns that they prefer. And you wonder why it's such a mess. Because for these text only babies, if you waiting for your phone to ring, and I ain't talking about your cell phone, I'm talking about your home phone. You know who you are because you still got that princess phone on your nightstand and you want it to ring so badly. And guess what? It in.
Nope.
Now you go and pick up your cell phone and you got 435 texts that you haven't responded to. Why haven't you responded to the text? Because I don't text. When is it going to be time for us to learn the patterns of other generations? And, both of you gentlemen have talked at different times about honor and respect. How can we respect a generation if we don't even care how they communicate, what they value? To
I was
me, that's
I,
the ultimate disrespect.
I was just having a conversation, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was just having a conversation with a young lady today, and we were talking about this world that we live in. Like the art of communication is gone. There is no like people would rather jump on a dating site versus approaching a young lady face to face,
Oh boy,
right?
but
And
that ain't
it's
even gonna happen. It IG DMs.
listen, let me slide into your DM, right? And it's because it's the fear of rejection. We haven't taught generations. I'm not just going to say the new generations, but generations across lines, how to deal with and walk in a space of accepting that rejection doesn't mean that you failed.
Man, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
In the
We,
night.
we don't teach that and have that conversation because if we teach our young men and our young women that like if someone says no, I'm good, I don't want that, right, in an actual conversation, you don't have to attack them.
You don't
That
have
just,
to attack them.
that just means it's not for you.
That's right.
We haven't taught people how to walk into what belongs to them, but we rather pick a fight with something that don't belong to us,
Right.
Mhm.
right? And it's the missing art of communication. Like people don't know how to communicate at all.
Mhm.
Nope.
I did a workshop once on a little topic called intergenerational communication.
Mm,
And that basically boils down to, do you even know how to talk to the folks around you?
Can you carry a conversation
Can
out
you
of 10?
carry a conversation?
Yeah. Can you shake somebody's hand and look them in the eyes?
no.
It's just like
Is
that's
that
just
even
like
important to you? Are you going to
yeah.
fist bump?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just going to nod?
Yeah.
And if I just nod, are you offended?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Guys just like I know. My grandfather always taught me, shake somebody's hand, look them in the eye. When they're talking to you, always give them your eye. Acknowledge them, they acknowledge you. You know what I'm saying? Listen to your elders. Yes, ma'am. No, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. You know, stuff like that, especially when it comes to your elders. You know what I'm saying? And even for your contemporary, treat people with respect. Step into the room with respect. If you don't get respect back, it don't mean fight the room. This room just ain't for you.
That's
You know
it.
what I'm saying? And that always been how I act. Or even like I tell my nephews, I be like, hey man, you know, that ain't no reason to fly off the handle. It's just it's not for you. It's not yours. It wasn't yours in the first place. You was just trying to get an opportunity. The opportunity it was that presented itself wasn't for you. Okay. Next person, next day. You know what I'm saying? Because something I always tell them, learn how to make decisions today that you can live with tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But
But I've heard so many older people say, I'm sick of this generation. I
I
ain't
mean, but
teaching
you
them
can't.
nothing.
You sick of
I
something
ain't
you
teaching
created?
them nothing
How you sick of something you created? You know what I'm saying? It's
because
just like
they ain't follow me. I trained them the way they're supposed to go. I don't know where they got the heathen in from.
because the thing of it is just like it's like a lot of generations that come before that precede the current generation. You have to understand that you overlooked them. You know, you was around, but you probably wasn't instilling. You know what I'm saying? You probably stood around and made sure things was going the way that needed to go, but did you teach why this was the way things operated? Did you give reasoning? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not explaining situations, that don't mean somebody gonna get it just because they seen you do it 1,000 times. If you don't explain to me why you do a thing, and that's one thing that I try. Like a lot of times, even talking to my mom and stuff, she's just like, "But I showed you this," and I was just like, "Well, yeah, you showed me, but you didn't explain it, so I didn't understand it, and I didn't ran away from it because it's just like I don't understand why she did it. It just don't make sense. I'm not even finna do it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get to the point, older generation, because I'm coming up on that side of the game too. You know what I'm saying? Got to explain yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking to my nieces and nephews, man. I explain myself to them, and I explain why. Hey, I allow you to speak and listen. And some days this stuff just is gonna be a no for me because guess what? I have to guide. You know what I'm saying? And in this guidance, what direction we're going, the way you want things to go won't be for the whole. Just be for you. The decision I'm making is for everybody inside this car. Your decision is just selfish. It's just you want what you want. I'm gonna do the thing that have everybody to help the whole. But the older generation ain't never really been good at explaining themselves because they be like, "Hey man, what you want to do?"
Now, my good brothers, I hate to do this to
That's
you,
how it
but
always been. But
believe it or not, that hour has come and we are out of time. So I'm going to ask you to do one last thing until the next time when we roll the shift challenge out, which will probably be in quarter number 3. Yeah, so sorry. Look at the time, y'all. I can't. Now I may come back with a part 2 of this because this is good. Lord knows this is good, but that's gonna be a little bit down the road because this month is kind of full with stuff. So we might have to look at another month. But here's what I need you to do. As we have done every single time we've met, I've always asked the speakers for a call to action for those who are listening. So I'm going to do the same thing tonight. The only difference being I need a strong call to action that's going to keep them until the next time we meet on the shift. So doesn't matter who goes first, but please go.
Master Right, Master Jamal, Pastor Right, you up?
Why you call me up? I'm waiting on your wisdom, man of God. I was gonna follow you. Um, I don't have that's a hard task to say. Give them a call to action that's going to sustain them until next time. Um, that's a tough one because you have to have consistency in a space where there's always growth and development. But I would say stop chasing perfection. That that would be my call to action. Stop chasing perfection and chase after clarity. A lot of us have been in spaces where we're trying to perfect a thing that the Lord never called us to perfect. When we should actually be seeking Him for clarity, and that's a space when we start seeking for that clarity, we'll find ourselves in a space of surrender where we will yield to what He is saying so that we can walk into that purpose. Um, I think that's all I got.
All right, I go now. Um, it's a word to me and my brother always like to use. It come from the Japanese language called it's kaizen. Um, Continuous improvement. You know what I'm saying? I feel like God put us on this earth to continuously improve. You know what I'm saying? And with the conversation that we had today, you know what I'm saying? A lot of it lean towards honor, learning, growth, handing over mantles and whatnot. Um, Continuously improve on all things that are spoken into existence that settles good in your heart. If God is calling you to your purpose, be ready to improve, be ready to get refined, yet be ready to be pruned. In this process is a beautiful process, but it's a painful process at times, especially when it comes to pruning the heart. You know what I'm saying, and pruning the mind. So I just say, be ready to just improve, even though it hurts.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you. I about to say I can't hear you.
See, that's what happens when I'm following directions of folks who told me, if you ain't talking, shut up your mic. What I said was, mine is simple, and that is, I just need you to shift. I need you to make this acronym part of what you do. I need you to sit. I need you to hear. I need you to invest. I need you to forgive. And I need you to take accountability. Because if you can do that, the easiest way for you to not only find your purpose, but get into your purpose. Lord, Pastor Roberson, hey, I feel blessed now. The easiest thing for you to do is to take the small steps that these men have been outlining. Pray, go back to God and get your confirmation so that you can be affirmed by your tribe. Seek his face, spend time with him, do the things that you know to do. And here's the kicker: find one of your elders and tell them, I just need to sit at your feet and listen. I need to learn some stuff that I don't know. Because if you do that, I promise you, you can decide, you can declare, and you can defend as easily as we've been talking. As easily as we've been talking. That's the easy part. That, I promise you, is the easy part. Last say, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this. I love y'all. I am so thankful to my tribes, plural. I'm grateful to great for this. I'm grateful to Reviving Generations. I'm grateful to the city. All of y'all have literally come together at different times to make sure that this 21 days has been both electrifying, uplifting, and more than anything else, a foundation where we literally can learn. to do some stuff. And that's what this was all about. I believe God was pleased. I believe that because we did what we said we were going to do. And as long as I can keep myself out the way, God's going to get the glory. So thank you again. Until the next time we meet on the stream.
Peace.
And more than anything else, let me correct one thing. I am grateful to God. More than I'm grateful to y'all. Because I promise you, if it were not for his showering of what was to come, this wouldn't have been possible. And again, Darius J, thank you
No
because you
problem,
came in
brother.
every week.
No problem, big dog.
Bishop, thank you. Because not only did you come in when you didn't feel like it, you came in and blew the doors off the foundation.
Hey man,
Thank
if
you.
he
I can
if
never
he
look
this
at.
cold tired, just imagine what he like when he rested.
Nah, I can't. No. And thank you everybody who joined me for 21 days. Men, women alike. Because again, I said this was for men and the women who love them. Because the reality is, I understand why Jesus said, without the women, there wouldn't have been no church. I get it. I get it. So I'm thankful to all of you for your support, for your love, for your prayers, more than anything else. Woo! All right, enough. We got to go. Love y'all. We'll see you next time. Q3 dates coming out soon. And we're going to go from there. Later, everybody.
We all want to be happy, but the majority of us have no idea what to do. See, the Japanese have a concept called ikigai, which roughly translates into a reason for being. You need to have a purpose for being here. But this is easier said than done because there are 4 components that you need to check off in order to achieve ikigai. Now, the interesting thing about this Japanese formula is that you can tell where you are in life and what you need to work on by looking at the components you have so far. If all you have is something that you love and are good at, then you have what's called a passion. On the other hand, if you have something that you love and you can see how the world needs it, then you have what's called a mission. Now, if you're someone who has something you get paid well for and are good at, then you have what most people in the world have, which is a profession. And finally, if you get paid well and it's something that you know can help the world, then you have what's called a vocation. You need to be spending your time doing something that you love, that you can get better at, that pays well, and that the world needs. Without all 4, you will always feel like you're missing something inside of you.
Follow us for more helpful tips.